All right, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 9:30, or about 9:30 on the 27th of February 2023, where it finally looks and feels like winter out there. Finally, we are getting some snow. And along the South Shore, though, what I saw was not that impressive. Once I got back to Mineola, though, boy, was it impressive. This is what's going on right now. You can see some moderate, even heavier snows right now, Nassau County into western Suffolk. You can see over the South Shore, maybe there's a little bit of rain mixing in. And then right around that, almost right at the Ocean-Monmouth border there. That's where the rain-snow line appears to be in New Jersey. We'll have to check that out. But it's snowing pretty good across the area right now. Let's go take a look at see what I saw this afternoon. First of all, we had some sunshine, but then the clouds kind of came in. You can see the clouds right there coming in to the scene right there in the afternoon here at Argyle Lake in Babylon, and you can see. Again, look at that little verga in the sky. That's the kind of sky you see. When you see a sky like that, you know snow is coming for sure. Look at that. That's a sky that you know that you have some snow coming. When I saw the sky like that, I like, oh boy, that looks kind of wintry, doesn't it? And then it was overcast early evening. Nothing much going on. We had the snow falling, but it wasn't reaching the ground yet. And then as we got toward this is a train coming into Belmore, and this is an M9, of course, Wantaw train. You can see it lighting up the snowflakes. Here's another look. You can see, a few snowflakes, just a few. I was trying to capture a few snowflakes. This is an express train to Wantaw coming in, and you can see again some snowflakes, but nothing really crazy going on. Mineola, when I first arrived at Mineola, we had, when I was on Freeport, it had been raining. But when I got off the bus in Mineola, it was back to snow. And you can see just very light. It was very light at this time. You can see here, this is the Mineola train station. Very light precipitation. Can't even see it, really. Here is another picture of it. You could sort of see the snow. It was just very light. But then as I was heading home, this is when things got interesting. We got into the heavier snow, and it started really coming down. And you can see here, really coming down. I'll have a video for it. It really started getting heavy. You can see here. So I was trying to get some pictures of it here. Of course, there. Look at that. The ground's already white already. So you can see what's going on. So ground is already white. I have a short video of it because there's a nice burst of snow as I was coming home. And you can see there. Look at that. And it really got even heavier as time went on. You can see here. Again, pardon the camera. It just can't focus very well at night. You can see really coming down there. We've got some moderate snow tonight. Finally, about time. You can see the ground being white. And again, I'll have a video for that for you later. Let's take a look and see what's going on right now on the cameras. I wish cameras could be better with getting clear pictures at night, but whatever, I don't have one that does really too well. So anyway, let's take a look. First of all, we'll start off in my area, Mineola. You can see snow coming down. It's sticking to the roads now, too, because it was really coming down heavy in that burst, and it looks like it still is coming down. So, wow, I'm really surprised about that. Let's see the parkways here. Look at that. Wow, here's a good example of what's going on. Look at that. So there you go. Look at that. It is coming down. The snow is coming down out there. You can see here, this is more toward the North Shore now. So getting some moderate snow. Let's head toward Hempstead Turnpike and see if it's snowing there. If we can load it. All right, that doesn't want it. It appears to be snowing there as well. Let's go down to the South Shore. It looks like it doesn't look like it's sticking there. Well, let's try this camera instead. Nope, it looks like it did stick there. So it looks like they did get into that burst there as well. You can see. So yeah, impressive stuff. Oh, look at this. This is on the South Shore. So just right after I made that post, it decided to snow and snow pretty good. Unbelievable. You can see there snowing pretty good there around the Wantaw Parkway. So even right on the South Shore, maybe right at the beach, maybe it's not snowing. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's just wet over there right at the beach. But more or less, if you go a mile or two inland, you've got snow across the area. And I'm sure, let's head out now further out to Suffolk County. And here is the Sagatows Parkway. And you can see snow there as well in Pioneer Drive. Look at that. Finally, we've been waiting all winter for this. Finally. I didn't think it was going to happen because I've been disappointed so many times before, but it looks like we're finally getting our first snowfall of the winter that we've been waiting for so long. Finally, it is here, and finally, that's all I got to say. It's about freaking time. So that's what it looks like going on across Long Island right now. So we have the snow. This is the same storm that brought the snow to California. And despite unfavorable conditions and certain things, somehow we were able to make it snow. Let's take a look and see what's going on in New Jersey. Some of these cameras may not work. Video not available, so no live. I know the video won't work. I just want to see a still picture and see what's going on in New Jersey. All right. Well, I guess I got to put up 511 in New Jersey for that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can see what's going on in New Jersey. It's probably just raining in Toms River right now. Yep, it's just raining there. No surprise. Glad to not be in... But if you go further north, it might be snow. Let's see what's going on in Howell. Nope, still rain. You got to go further north. Probably like Old Bridge. You'll probably get some snow. Let's see what we got going on here. A little bit of snow on the ground. A little bit of snow right there. So it seems like that's the line right there, like around Middlesex, even though the radar was showing it as snowing. So let's go back to our current conditions, the weather and hazard map. Winter weather advisory is in effect till 1 o'clock tomorrow. Well, let's take a look at our current observations here. And you will see here we have temperatures that are generally in the mid-30s right now. So they have dropped, even though we overperformed today with the temperatures. We're getting down to around the freezing mark, especially when the snow comes down. And you can see winter storm warnings up to the north, despite the southeast wind, which is really interesting. It's just cold enough type of situation. You can see it's mid to upper 30s in New Jersey, but you can see here it's around the freezing mark, which is why we're getting the snow, which is, again, I'm very happy about. So let's go take a look at islip. This is islip right here, so 32 degrees. We have half-mile visibility and snow. So there you go. Take a look at what the day was like at islip today. And you can see we got into the 40s today, which was a little warmer than I was expecting. But, again, looking at the dew points, they're fairly low. And that's all it took for them when the precipitation to fall to cool the air down. It's one of those dynamic cooling situations, which can be very, very tricky. So obviously my forecast underpredicted the snow a little bit here, or maybe more than a little bit. I think we're going to see more, like a couple of inches on the South Shore, maybe like 3 in the middle of the Isle, the North Shore, maybe getting as high as 4 or 5 because of this. That dynamic cooling, always hard to predict. Always hard to predict. So we'll go and look at our high temperatures for the day. So highs, we got the low 40s. Jersey was the mid 40s. And then the lows, let's see what we got down to overnight. 19 at West Hampton, mid 20s, so fairly close to average temperature-wise for the day. But again, we do have the snow. Here's, again, the radar. You can see the snow. Again, you can see heavier snow as well. Let's go to the latest winter storm briefing from the National Weather Service. 5 to 8 inches of snow in the interior areas, all right? So snowfall rates of 1 inch an hour possible. Obviously, it's going to be a wet, heavy snow because of the warm air. 2 to 5 inches of wet snow in the highest amount in the northern area, all right? So we have the temperatures in the mid-30s. So it's one of those situations where it's just cold enough. Here's the map they have, which I can't really disagree with at this point. And so it looks like the HRRR was right on with this particular timing here. It was just enough of that dynamic cooling to go on from this system here that was enough to give us the snow finally. So if we look at the weather prediction center map, you'll see here on the weather map, you'll see there's your low here, your lows. And it's unusual with the low in the Great Lakes, but you have a high over New England. The air is just cold enough to get us to snow, which is pretty incredible. Just cold enough to snow. This is the same storm system that brought the snow to Southern California, so it did save some winter for us, and I'm glad it did. It was just strong enough to do that for us, which is good, as you'll see. So let's go to, I guess we go to the models next. And we can look at the satellite imagery if we want for today. So this is the satellite imagery. Here's your storm, by the way, on the satellite. You can see here. We'll make a little bit of a longer loop here, 96 frame loop here, to show you the cirrus rolling in. The cirrus rolled in, and then it thickened, and you can see the clouds, and there's the snow right there. And that wound up coming in. There was sunshine for the first half of the day today with the cirrus around, but now we have the snow. I want to see if we have any convection offshore, which would indicate if our coastal is getting going right now. All right, because the coastal is what's going to shut off the cold air, and that I have an idea that it's already forming. So let's go and take a look and see if that is already forming. Do we have any lightning strikes offshore yet? Yeah, this might be the beginnings of it. I don't see any lightning yet, but you can see the beginnings of the coastal there forming, because this low is going to transfer its energy off to a low offshore. So let's go take a look at our models here, and we'll get close into our area here. Obviously, here's your low. This is the regular GFS here, 18Z. You can see it transferring the energy off. GFS kind of underestimated things a little bit. Does have it changing to rain in the morning and then lingering around for part of the day is the GFS model, which definitely underestimated things a little bit. So let's go to the HRRR, which actually seems to be more in line with what we're actually seeing today. All right, so this is your current conditions. You can see the snow will continue through the night. We may get some mixing at times on the south shore, but it's going to continue for at least till a little bit before sunrise, which definitely we've got a good coating out there right now. It's even sticking to the roads. Do you believe it? Wow. So we'll have to see if this coastal low can form. It'll keep the cold air shut off, and we won't see any mixing. And you can see there again, some light precipitation could linger around for at least the late morning hours, and then hopefully we'll be done with it by the evening as this low slowly pulls on out of here, and then fair weather for Wednesday. So let's see how much the HRRR is giving us. Obviously, this is a little more toward the right. Yeah, this is a little more toward, I'm in a little more in agreement with this. So North Shore, you're going to see closer to 4 to 5. Middle of the island is probably 1 to 3, more like 2 to 3. And then the South Shore, probably more like 1 to 2 inches at this point. And this may even be still too conservative at this point. And the reason why we're seeing this, and again, it's really impressive to see. And we can actually take a look at a sounding if you want here. And the problem was we'll go to the first half of the day. All right, 010. We'll put the sounding up here. And you'll see that there is a little bit of dry air aloft that we had to work through. So you'll see here's your air temperature, and you can see the temperature actually kind of going up a little bit with height there. But this was colder, and it's cold. It's one of those choices where it's just cold enough to make it happen. All right, so as we go through the period here, we'll make this to 8Z, and you'll see now a good profile there. It's as long as it's below that 0Z there, you have snow. So it's as long as it's below the 0 there, that's snow. All right, so it will probably stay snow, but if you're further south, that's where the temperatures are just a little bit above. That's where you'll get the rain mixing in. But I think Long Island, most of Long Island, except for the extreme South Shore, should stay mostly snow throughout this event. So finally, we get some winter. So let's go look at our dew points and wind flow. I'm not going to look at any of the models because the HRRR actually actually was right this time. Sometimes you just don't know. So you can see the east winds, and even with the east winds and even with it was just like I said, just enough dry air was in place. Everything came together to give us perhaps it could be our only snowfall this winter, but we'll take it. So you see east winds, and east winds coming in there right now. So east winds are with us becoming northeast and then northwest tomorrow night, and then northerly, and then here we are Wednesday starting off with northerly winds, then turning south later in the day. But this means it should stay below normal finally for once. So here we go. Temperatures. Here we are. So temperature is obviously going to stay around that freezing mark tonight. Tomorrow, we're not getting out of the 30s. And with the snow around, I think we won't get out of the 30s. And then tomorrow night, we can drop maybe into the 20s. And then for Wednesday, we'll probably see low 40s for highs over Long Island. So definitely staying a little below normal for once. And that's always a good thing, to see that we are actually below normal for a change. And the GFS will continue that as well. So we'll look at the GFS now at our air temperatures, and you'll see You see that warm up. And then we'll have to talk about our next chance of precipitation. We'll take one storm at a time. I'll talk about what's going to happen for the rest of the week, I think, tomorrow. All right, because we got to watch this storm right now that's already with us right now. So we have the 0Z NAMN as well, so let's go look at that. And the NAM was wrong with this. It was too warm, which is unusual for the NAM. But you can see in the last run, it finally is added some heavier snows that will happen. And it still wants to bring in mixing. Parts of Long Island into New Jersey. It still wants to bring in that mixing. But whether we'll actually see that, as long as the intensity of the precipitation stays strong, it's enough to give us the dynamic cooling to stay mostly snow. And the NAM, let's see what the NAM is doing here as far as snowfall totals go. Yeah, see, the NAM is too low. It's too low. That's too low. Nope. It still wants to do mixing in. You're not going to see that amount of mixing. You're not going to see it. Nope. You're not going to see that. What about the GFS here? GFS looks like I see a little pink over there. So the GFS looks like getting with the program here. Especially if we look at the high resolution model of it. You can see here. That's a little more like what it's supposed to be. So let's go look at a few other things here, like FGen. All right, and show you what happened this evening here. And you can see here, oh, we're missing frames. It's not good. No, that's not good at all. We'll have to go to the regular GFS. All right, so here's the regular GFS. You can see that nice area of lift, and actually there's going to be more of it as we get toward midnight. All right, so more of it toward midnight. So that's a nice little area of lift right there in the atmosphere. It's 850. Let's do the 750. 700. Here's the 700. So this is actually more important. And you'll see that front end part of lift there. It'll be that thump that we're getting now. You can call it a thump of snow almost, because that's what it's a thump that you're going to get. So that's the GFS. Let's go to the NAM, to the 12. You can see the NAM is just, I don't think the HRRR has this feature. No, it does not. So HRRR does not give us that feature. So we got a snow event tonight. Finally, for Long Island. Finally, I could say it's about freaking time. So let's go take a look at what our skies are going to be like. It would be nice if we had a nice blue sky tomorrow to enjoy the snow, freshly fallen snow, whatever we get. But unfortunately, we're not going to have that. Let's go to the RGEM. I guess we can go to the RGEM. This is the RGEM model too, by the way, which you can look at as well. All right. So let's go to the RGEM and let's go look at the skies on the RGEM. You can see obviously we have the clouds. The clouds are going to linger around tomorrow again. It's going to be a damp, chilly feel in the air tomorrow. At least it'll be cold and it'll feel like winter. But unfortunately, we will not see any sunshine to enjoy that freshly fallen snow with. And then as we get to Wednesday, we may get a little more sun on Wednesday, but we'll have to watch out for some high clouds perhaps developing during the day. And just to go a little further here, I'm just going to stick with the RGEM for the clouds. I'm not going to use any of the cloud models here. Let's go back to the GFS here. Go back to regions. We'll give you a little bit of peek at the rest of the week here. Obviously, that's our storm moving away. Weak high pressure builds in. Fair weather for Wednesday. Thursday, we have another chance of precipitation. We have another cold high trying to build down, and here we go with another storm system that wants to cut across the lakes. And remember, this is what was being originally shown for this storm. So this would be a rain event starting as snow, but then changing to rain Friday into Saturday. However, that could always change. If this high is stronger, and we want to root for that high being stronger, we can get even a little more snow out of this if that high is stronger. But right now, we'll take one storm at a time. That's for sure. But one thing's sure, it will stay actually below normal for once. If we look at our temperature anomaly chart here, you'll see we're only going to have really one day that's going to be warm, because if you look at the rest of the days in the Northeast, we're in blue, right over our area tomorrow. Blue again for at least part of Wednesday. Then we start going a little bit above normal, still close to normal. It's Thursday that we go above normal, but then that gets squashed on Friday, and then maybe some colder air for the weekend. Maybe you'll see some colder air trying to come in there. So not as crazily warm as it has been, but it would be nice to get a nice sunny day But I just don't know when that's going to happen, unfortunately. But hey, we are getting some snow at least for tonight. And with the temperatures the way they are, we'll go back to the GFS here. Temperature shaded here. We'll just look at the temperatures. So with the temperatures the way they are, we'll see the snow. We'll enjoy it at least for tomorrow, maybe even part of Wednesday. Before Thursday, it's probably going to disappear with that warm air that's going to come in. But at least we'll get something. And then you can see, again, what's going to happen Friday. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this storm for Friday. This could be another possible snow event, perhaps. I mean, I'm just curious. I want to look at the icon of the European for this event as well and see if this is showing anything. This is the icon here. Icon still wants to bring in rain. What about the European? There's your weak system for Thursday. Yeah, we don't really have enough of that 18Z that goes far enough out. We'd have to use the 12Z. But it has, unfortunately, that 540 line way to the north. So chances are, and let's see if we can get a sounding on this. Well, 35 at the surface. It does have the temperatures below that 0Z, so that 0C temperature. So, well, you don't know. Maybe. Then it probably goes, and it goes above, though. So we'll have to see. But at least we're getting something now. So this may be all we get, so enjoy it. For those who wanted to see some snow, and I think most of us did. Maybe a few people don't want to see it, but, it's supposed to snow in the winter, and at least we're getting something tonight. So I think, let me just get the latest radar. We'll see if we can find the latest from the Weather Service here. Maybe take a look at a few more cameras here. So again, here's what you got going on. And look at that heavy precipitation there. Look at that. Some heavy rain. I wonder if there's sleet mixing in that southern Ocean County there. And then you could see, again, pretty good shade of blue there. Central Jersey around Woodbridge into Staten Island. And then you got a good, again, more moderate blues over Nassau County. So, yeah, we're seeing snow tonight, folks, on Long Island finally. And New York City, well, I guess it won't be the least snowiest winter on record, probably. We're coming close, but at least, the people are going to look back in history and get the wrong idea when they say, oh, well, it did snow about 8 inches. But still, you look at the temperatures, you look at the big picture. You can't just look at a snowfall for the whole winter. But between this, I think that we'll avoid having the warmest February on record. And at least, again, winter is trying to show itself a little bit here in the Northeast, especially on Long Island. So and it's encouraging that maybe March will be a little more winter-like, at least compared to the rest of the winter we've had. So hopefully we'll get some cold air. I'd like some cold air too, some Arctic air. But we'll talk about the longer range tomorrow night right now. So let's see. One more look at this. So we still got the winter weather advisory. Again, here's the National Weather Service radar. You can see those darker shades over Suffolk County now. So let's go and take a look and see what we got going on. Again, look at our traffic cameras here. I can't believe how quick it came down. Look at that. Finally, look at that. That's something I was not expecting to see tonight after being disappointed so many times. But sometimes you got to be a little optimistic, I guess. You can see it's coming down pretty good on the Parkway. It's sticking to the roads. Wow. So, yeah, and it's going to stick to the trees, too, and it's going to look absolutely beautiful come tomorrow, even if we don't have a clear sky. So, yeah, look at that. That's Mineola right there. Snow is coming down. Snow is falling in the North Shore, getting even more probably. It looks a little better on the North Shore, in fact. It's like the middle of the island seems to be getting the heaviest of it. But the South Shore, too. Look at this. So let's go to Belmore here. There you go. There's Belmore. Uh-oh. What just happened there? All right, something weird happened. I don't know what. All right. Maybe I better stop. I don't want to cause this thing to crash here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Let's see if we can get this to work. Yeah, it seems like this is having an issue now. It won't work. You got a still picture at least. I can't show you the video, but look at how that's coming down there, right around Merrick Road and the Wantaw Parkway. Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Enjoy the snow. Have a good night.